Okay, we're going to be talking about how this little tiny nugget created such a massive impact on British Columbia. 3 different impacts: social, political, economic. As you can see in this picture here, there's a gentleman on the side of the river panning for gold in the Caribou. And in this particular case, it was in 1862. Panning was one of the simplest and easiest methods for trying to find gold. But this, this just depicts the typical kind of miner. And they would spend hours and hours doing this, sometimes neglecting their own health and forgetting to eat. They were almost addicted. And having gold fever implies, when you have a fever, that there's a bit of a sickness and an illness. And indeed, many of them got very sick and ill from not looking after themselves. This road took 4 years to build, and it led up into the Caribou. There's a gentleman by the name of Billy Barker who discovered a massive vein of gold. So he decided to build the Caribou Road to make sure that the miners had a very safe way to get up to the Caribou, but he could also control how they left. In 1866, but it did put us in debt, because by the time it was finished, the gold rush was also finishing. I teach history, I teach Canadian history, and I think I love this course. I fell in love with it as I began to teach it. Everybody has a history, and we have histories as a school, as a district, West Van, Vancouver, BC, and Canada, and then within the global community. And it's important to know how we came to be. But I also like students to not just see it as something of the past, but to almost see how sometimes patterns can be replayed. But it's also an opportunity to see who we are in the world today.
When we talk about history, I think a lot of people don't like history. But actually, history is a part of memory, like every second would be history.
Like this tree, it doesn't grow in a night, but it grows in many years. What is growing with this tree is history.
History is like a window. Through it, you can see what happens in the past. It really opens up your eyes. It's an important subject, and it's also very fun to learn.